Alright, we're going to go over this because this has been bothering me since the day this Department of Justice announcement hit the wires, Tuesday, December 3rd, 2019. This is the title. California CEO and 7 others charged in multi-million-dollar conduit campaign contribution case. Earlier today, an indictment was unsealed against the CEO of an online payment processing company and 7 others, charging them with conspiring to make and conceal conduit and excessive campaign contributions and related offenses during the U.S. presidential election in 2016 and thereafter. When you come down here to the names, a federal grand jury in the District of Columbia indicted Ahmad Andy Khawaja, 48, of Los Angeles, California, on November 7th, 2019, along with George Nader. Now, there's 6 other names that come after that, but along with George Nader. Now, who is George Nader? That name rings a bell. Well, let's ask the Washington Post. Figure linked to Trump transition charged transporting child pornography. George Nader. If you're a Trump supporter, I'll give you a hint about reading articles. If you want to, you can just skip to the bottom of the articles. Like the second half is where like the quasi-truth is, or especially at the very bottom, and the whole beginning of it is just BS trying to link it to Trump. So you can just skip all that, but we can't do that here. So we're going to listen to the Washington Post connect this guy to Trump. A key witness in former special counsel Robert S. Mueller III's investigation of Russian election interference has been charged with transporting child pornography last year, according to court documents. Charged last year. Nader, who has a previous conviction on such charges, so charged in the years prior. Nader played an unusual role as kind of a liaison between Trump supporters, Middle East leaders, and Russians interested in making contact with the incoming administration in early 2017. Officials said Nader, 60, was charged by a criminal complaint over material he was traveling with when he arrived at Washington Dulles International Airport on January 17, 2018 from Dubai. At the time, he was carrying a cell phone containing visual depictions of minors engaged in sexually explicit conduct, officials said. The charges were unsealed after his arrest Monday morning at John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York, right? So Nader was known to Trump associates as someone with political connections in the Middle East who could help them navigate diplomacy of the region. Okay, Nader was also known by the entirety of the world as that because he was the president and editor of Middle East Insight magazine. Okay. He helped arrange a meeting between that person and Eric Prince, a Trump supporter who founded the private security firm Blackwater, and a Russian official close to Russian President Vladimir Putin. The purpose of the meeting was of particular interest to Mueller's investigators, and some questions about it remained unanswered, even after Mueller issued a 448-page report on his findings. A Lebanese-American businessman, Nader was stopped by federal agents when he arrived at Dulles in January 2018. Those FBI agents served him with a subpoena and wanted to question him as part of the Russia investigation, according to people who, like others familiar with the issue, spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive matters. It wouldn't be a Washington Post article without figures in the dark talking about stuff they have no idea. According to the complaint, Nader was interviewed by FBI agents at the airport, and one of his 3 iPhones was searched for reasons unrelated to child pornography. But on the phone, authorities found 12 sexually explicit videos featuring boys approximately ranging from 2 to 14, according to court documents. Over the following weeks, Nader began to cooperate with authorities, providing grand jury testimony about his interactions with Trump supporters, according to people familiar with the matter. Isn't it interesting how all the people who are making claims against Trump are always in trouble leading up to that? And then there's always this paragraph. Over the following weeks, after they got in trouble, they began to cooperate with Mueller. Okay. Authorities said he was charged under seal on the alleged child pornography in April of 2018, but he had left the country at that point. Prince has insisted publicly and to Congress that his meeting with that guy and Kirill Dmitriev, the head of a Russian government-controlled wealth fund, was a chance encounter that occurred because he happened to be meeting with the United Arab Emirates officials at a luxury hotel in the Indian Ocean nation, which, if you know who Eric Prince is, that's like an average day for him. At the time, Nader had been working for years as an advisor to the UAE, which I guess is why the Trump administration thought that he was a liaison between the United States and the Middle East. Nader told investigators it was a meeting planned in advance as an exploratory back channel between a Trump emissary and a Kremlin official to allow for informal discussions for future relations between the two countries, according to people familiar with the investigation. He visited the White House after he had the meeting. Now, 28 years ago, he was convicted of transporting child pornography in a case which he received a reduced sentence for after influential figures argued privately to the court that he was playing a valuable role in national security affairs. Kind of like he was a member of an intelligence and above their pay grade. Where have I heard that before? Trying to free U.S. hostages then held in Lebanon. He was born in Lebanon. Okay, so this is Nader. In the 80s, he developed a reputation as a back-channel negotiator with access to top officials in Israel, Syria, and Iran, as well as leaders of the Hezbollah movement, according to people familiar with his work. In the past few years, he has worked as an advisor to senior officials in the UAE. So the paragraph at the top of this Washington Post article where he was seen as a liaison by the Trump administration. I mean, it's like he was seen that way by everyone, including the Washington Post. He'd been repeatedly investigated, and he was indicted in '85. This is the guy that Mueller used as his witness. 91 case, 85 case. I mean, the guy is clearly a pedophile. And he was protected because Nader had powerful supporters who appealed to the court on his behalf, arguing that he was engaged in high-stakes negotiations to assist the U.S. government in freeing hostages in Lebanon. Now, I can't even say the name of the person that reminds me of, but everyone watching this video knows exactly who I'm talking about. So that's Nader. Okay, now he sounds really tied to Republicans, right? Doesn't he sound very tied to Republicans? Well, he's involved in this scheme with this guy. According to the indictment from March 2016 through January 2017, Khawaja conspired with Nader to conceal the source of more than $3.5 million in campaign contributions directed to political committees associated with a candidate for President of the United States in 2016 election. By design, these contributions appeared to be in the names of Khawaja, his wife, and his company. In reality, they allegedly were funded by Nader. Okay. So then the question, of course, becomes, well, who were these guys donating to? Khawaja and Nader did that first part together, the $3.5 million in campaign contributions. And then later on, Khawaja is charged with the rest of the guys. So him and Nader worked on these $3.5 million campaign contributions. And we're going to go to Open Secrets and type in his name here, and we'll be able to see who he was donating to. All right, and Allied Wallet is the name of his company, and these are the recipients of his contributions. Senate Majority PAC, DCC, DNC, the PAC for Change. You'll get the pattern. Minnesota, Iowa, Delaware. Something tells me probably the Democrat Party of every single one. Ooh, follow the North Star Fund. Look into that PAC. Blue Momentum, United for a Strong America. And once you get down here to the smaller donations, we'll start seeing the individual donations. He made 245 donations. Texas, Massachusetts. It wouldn't be a party without Ohio. And Wisconsin and Idaho. The whole family's here. All the Democratic committees. Hey, I know Adam Schiff. Fancy seeing you here. No, Amy Klobuchar, Christian Gillenberg, Claire McCaskill. I don't want no problems, Hillary. Oh, of course she's on there twice. Gee, I wonder who the, quote, Democrat or candidate for 2016 election is. Even though the Justice Department didn't specify. I wonder who it was. I don't see Trump on here. Adam Schiff again. Oh, so he did this more than once to each of these people. Interesting. So, I think we get the point, right? Or should we go through them all? Let's look. Cory Booker. Just so we can say we went through all of them. Either way, it's clear now that Nader did not work for Republicans. Nader was not trying to get a back channel for Trump. And I'll say this. Nader was a known pedophile. He was a known liar. He was under indictment. And there's no way Mueller didn't know about these campaign contributions. My bet was that witness comes through. If Nader came through for Mueller, Mueller would make this go away. Just like the, quote, powerful people made his pedophilia charges go away. If he cooperated with the Mueller report, this would go away. But it didn't work. And Mueller is no power. And so the Justice Department, in as best as way as it can, is following through with the actual charges. That would be my thought. But I don't like how it reads. And it's so vague. It just doesn't want to say that he contributed to all Democrats and Hillary Clinton. He just doesn't want to put that in the announcement. I understand why they don't want it to look partisan, but if it's a fact that they were donating completely to Democrats, then that's a fact, isn't it? And they really love this Andy Khawaja guy. This is from Insight Success. He was into the digital payments industry, and he was saying that they were positioned to double in size. And I'll leave all this stuff for you in the comments. But what a better way to watch campaign finance contributions than by using an e-commerce guy who owns a large e-commerce company. It's kind of genius. But this man and Nader are connected to Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. Nader, furthermore, was a renowned pedophile and had been let off charges just like you know who. And now Nader's going to be locked up, so I'm going to have to watch to find to make sure nothing happens to Nader too, I guess. Or not. No, not really. But these contributions all went to Democrats. It matters. They're not telling it the story in the news. They're not telling the story that this witness that was used in the Mueller report is just one of the worst people on the planet Earth. And you can always judge a man by who's attacking him. And this guy, Cohen, Avenatti,